Hey guys, it's Farmer here. Today is an expensive day for me and for most of you that have to buy hubs. But I blew the hub on the other side. It won't unlock. And instead of buying a Dorman or a eBay special, I decided to go all in, get a set of manual hubs. Now, for those of you that are new, maybe wondering, hey Farmer, why the hell you got hubs on a what looks to be a GMC? Well, this is not a normal GMC. This is a Yubikon. This is the 2001 GMC Yukon XL 2500 that myself and a couple good buddies of mine, we straight axle swapped. So it has a Ford Dana 60. This one's out of a 2007 F250, 410 gear ratio. Nothing special. This isn't the Super 60 or anything like that. This is just a regular Superduty Dana 60. So we're gonna put some new hubs on it. So part number 95060. I believe they also, this is for the black face ones. I do believe they make them in a stainless or a chrome, the shiny ones. And we're gonna go through, unbox this thing, and put at least one side on, and then go and do the other. So one of the questions I had when looking for parts for this truck and generally in life is I really try to buy American when I can. I mean, we're all pretty partial to Harbor Freight, anyone that turns a wrench. And, you know, I won't turn down cheap stuff sometimes. But when the safety and the livelihood of me and my family are on the line, I'd like to spend the money and get a good part with people that live here in America that care, at least somewhat, about what's going out the road. So I couldn't find anything clearly on Warren's website, and one of their brochures for these hubs, for the premium hubs, it does say made in the USA, but it's not very specific. Kind of along the lines of their winches. The only winch I can find on their website currently that clearly states that it's made in the USA is the 8274, which that's on the list to get, but it's like $3,000. So this one, this one says country of origin, United States. Doesn't clearly say made in the USA to me. It says from the US, not made in the US. So let's go through this. All right, got some plastics here. Fancy looking, nice little hubs. They look to be like powder coated or something like that. We got gaskets sitting underneath them. Let's put this here. Instructions. Let's see if any of this, okay, this is for the warranty. What I'm looking for is anything that says made in the US. They definitely export these, considering it looks to be in Spanish and French, I do believe. I'm not for sure. Warren Industries install instructions. We will go through these. Don't be an idiot. Got it. You know, these instructions actually are pretty good. They're definitely reminiscent of the 90s and back in their drawings, but it's very specific. And now we just have another thing. So we'll set these here, throw that there so the wind don't catch it. Then we got this nice little cradle deal here. Empty box. Some Molly grease. Looks like this one's been sitting just a little bit separated, just a touch. It's okay. Alright, and then here's all the nuts and bolts. Then we have the hub, which it's just like cardboard dust. It really wouldn't see, but yeah, a nice snap ring here on the back that's set in. The splining looks good and consistent. Let's see, cage. You got your spring here. Quality control seems to be pretty good. Everything's deburred where it needs to be. I don't see too much trash in here. We got one little piece of, yeah, we got it okay. I have to show you guys. I don't think this is gonna make a difference, but there we go. It looks like they just didn't clean up the edges quite that well when they were done splining these, but that's no big deal. I mean, they're just barely on there. But if we're gonna be picky, we're gonna be picky. Ain't nothing to send it back over though. So we'll set this one down. I'll put it in the box since we're out here in the dirt. What do we got here? I have to read the instructions to see what that is. I'm not sure what that is off the top of my head. Alright, what do we got? Empty bag. Regular torque screws. I looked them up. They are a T25. Now the factory Ford ones are T27. Would have been cool if they, you know, kept it all the same. Yeah, it would, because for some reason I have a shit ton of T27 sockets. Looks like we got some vacuum caps. Now I've already deleted the vacuum system off this because obviously I put it under a Chevy or GM truck. But all these bolts look pretty good. They look to be coated some sort. I'm not as savvy with all the coating, but I mean everything looks good. None of the screws have any like hellaciously sharp edges or anything. So I'll set those down. Let's take a look at this other one. Is there anything else in here? Nice little foam. Someone took the time to think about the packaging on this, so these aren't just saran wrapped and thrown in a box. So I know it's a small thing, but it's nice to see. It really is. It just means someone's like, hey, we should probably take a little time, and it probably took them not long at all to figure this one out, but it's nice to see. And on this one, cage looks good. Everything's spring. Little wavy spring here. I see a little bit of trash. Yep. Same thing as the last one. A little bit of splining trash, so it looks like the last process they did. That doesn't. Maybe this leaves are just on Friday and they're getting ready to go home. I mean, this is nothing that a toothbrush wouldn't clean up. I mean, some of these are on here a little bit more, but man, there ain't nothing that's going to make a difference, I don't think. I'm not going to clean them up. Yeah, I'm going to clean them up. But, I mean, they're coming right off as I go. So, let's go back to this. Lift one of these out. I'll drop this one. Ooh. So, gasket. Interface Solutions, it looks like, is the brand. Made in the USA. I thoroughly enjoy seeing that. It really means a lot to me. Looks like this does not come out of there. It's pretty straightforward. So, old friend of mine, Edgar Cisneros, has a video of them installing a set of these on a Dana 6 that they were building, and they do a pretty good job of explaining it. And I mean, they're pretty straightforward. You got that assembly in there, and then when you put this isn't free, so there's no pressure on it. You're gonna turn it, and it just pushes this big spring out and holds it against it. And this is a pretty hefty little spring here. I've seen some people kind of complain that the cup here, if you will, I don't know what to call this thing, but this cup here is plastic, and they say, oh, it's a failure point and this and the other, and you know, it probably is, but there's always going to be a failure point in your off-road system, in your four-wheel drive system. And you know, I'm okay with it being here and not a U-joint or an axle shaft or a stub shaft or a ring and pinion for that matter. I'd rather blow a hub out. I intend on keeping these stock ones. I'll clean them up. I think the one that's broken will tear apart, but this one's not broken. Well, not yet. It's just got way too much grease in it. So this is not a bad thing. It's a nice alloy. I'm gonna assume it's aluminum, but it may be some sort of aluminum alloy for strength. Machining looks good. Definitely looks like the part was cast and then they finished it up. Powder coat's good. Yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about this other than they're expensive, but I'd much rather give that money to the other people that work hard. So let's do that. All right, now, and of course, moly grease, and we'll figure out what that is in a minute. All right, now let's take this Ford one off here. So the truck's just chilling here. It's on jack stands. It's in park. It's not in four-wheel drive. There's nothing special here. Now, for all you northerners that just saw me just break these loose, yeah, beauty of living in Texas. Plus, I took it apart last night too. But very little or almost no corrosion on these. They're just heavy in grease right out the gate. So we'll clean these up later, and we'll make a little emergency trail kit with these. Now, in theory, this will just slide out, but luck will have it, it doesn't always work that way. Now, I like just using a little 90-degree angle pick. It works. Hub. Very, very fucking greasy one. Oh. And no O-ring. That might be another problem. There's no O-ring on this one. There's supposed to be. So we're gonna set that over there. All right, there's a lot of grease in here. So what we're gonna do, because I don't want to get, I've got the cleaner and stuff to do it. I don't want it to be all over the wheel and the tire. If it was a little bit, it's not a big deal. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pause here. I'm gonna jack it up, pull this tire off, and then we'll start back. All right. Let's go get some cleaner. Greasy on the outside. All right. We'll give that a second to dry off. Let's take a look here at these instructions that those of us never really pay attention to. Remove old hub. Okay. Lightly grease internal splines of the wheel hub. So when that dries, we'll put a little bit of grease on there. Then we're going to take this. That's going to go in there. Then the spring. Then this, and then the cage. So basically just like this, but in steps. But like I said, we are going to clean this up real quick. With my tiny screwdriver that I always lose. basically what happened is what it looks like happens. They just didn't run a deburr on this. As someone that has worked in that type of environment, nothing, no trash in the bearing. This is just a small QC oversight, and probably in the reality of things, it doesn't make a difference. These little bits of metal that they left on here probably won't have an effect on the operation of this thing, but I'm going to make sure that it's nice and clear. So, alright, that's all deburred. So, moly grease. Alright. Probably wear gloves, but it's just, I don't half the time. I should, I don't. So we're just gonna put some grease on here. I'm just trying to make sure that there is grease in all these valleys. Of course, when I stick this in here, it's going to okay. Now we'll just throw that in here. Now there is something that people may get frustrated with, is this won't just slide right in. Reach over, grab the U-joint, and just give it a little bit of wiggle. Easy. Now, they say the spring, they say gently pull the spring apart just to make sure that it is not, it's not doing the hokey pokey there. All it is just a regular flat spring. They want you to stick that in there. Stay. And then you take the gear and the cage. Now, I'm probably just going to do this. So, me not paying attention. They want you to grease the outside of this. So, like we did before, a little bit of grease. Scrub it up, dab a dab. Now we put that there. And because I'm worried that that spring would get caught in there. The spring's pretty. Okay. So that's on there. Of course, wipe your hands on my pants. They want you to put anti-seize to each screw before putting the cover on. I think that's for you northerners. I'm not going to do that. You know what? I bet you that's what that little tube is some anti-seize. Nah. Texas, baby. You got to worry about it. So, then you just take one of these. Make sure this is nice and clean. And then they want you to make sure it's in the free section. And there we go. So sometimes you just gotta wiggle it a little bit. Let's get these bolts back over here. Ooh. So pay attention to what you're doing, or you'd be like me, and I about crushed this gasket. Hopefully I didn't rip it. I ripped it a little bit. So that's my fault. I wasn't paying attention. So, pay attention. I ripped it on the inside, not the outside of the hole, so should be good. All right, now get all these started. Now I know it'd be easy just to grab the impact and zip these on real quick, but Ford only uses three screws to hold on their hub, and we're using all 6 holes now with this one. So you may have trash, corrosion, some sort of other crap in the threads of the holes, and yeah, I wouldn't have to want to have to replace a hub, a whole unit bearing, because I stripped a screw on the outside flange. Would it be alright? Yeah, probably. But doing it by hand lets you feel if you have any trash in there. Just have a good habit. Do the star pattern. So the book says just read it. Where was it? Tighten screws to 20 to 30 inch-pounds. I'll be right back. We're going to do this right. So, it's at 20. To 30, so we're going to split the difference. We're going to do 25 inch-pounds. Probably way. Hope it's going the right way. Man, that is not. It's not a whole lot of weight. Not a whole lot of pressure there. Alright, we'll double check them. Yep. Good. 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 All right. Well, now that's locked in. There. Let's turn it up. Yep. Drive shaft spin. Free spin. Yay! Free spin and nothing's moving. So, yeah.